Hey everybody, this is Rob from Revelation Rain, coming at you with yet another video where we talk about the different songs on our debut album, Vengeance is Mine, but also want to give everybody an update on what's been happening with Revelation Rain. As most of you know, we've been on hiatus for probably 2 or 3 months, and I've mentioned before that JT, our lead guitarist, ended up having to move to Oklahoma. So he's no longer in the band, but it was an amicable split. There were no hard feelings or anything like that. JT had some stuff he needed to take care of, and we understood completely, still understand. And he gave us his blessing to move forward, and move forward we are doing. We now have a new lead guitarist. His name is Steve, and we've had 2 rehearsals with Steve so far, and they've gone exceedingly well. He's learning the songs very quickly. He brings a whole lot to the game. It won't be too long, and we'll have some pictures and some footage that we can share with you guys. We want to debut this new lineup pretty soon. We're looking to do that sooner than later. We're in the process right now. We're setting up some interviews with a couple of different podcasts. And right behind me, you can see a live stream we did for South of the Straits. We've been on their show a couple of times, and we're hoping to get on there a 3rd time. I've reached out to them, and we'd like to go on South of the Straits to do an interview to kind of introduce Steve to everybody, and then play a few songs just so that everybody can hear how great this new lineup sounds. So that's what we have in the works as far as the band goes. Today we're going to talk about track number 2 on side 2 of Vengeance is Mine, and that song is called Tears on the Wall. Tears on the Wall is a song that I've had for a very long time. Probably since about 1997. I think that's when I wrote that song. It's one of those songs where I had the music first. Songwriting is unique to everybody. Sometimes I'll write lyrics and then put music to it, and sometimes I'll write music and put lyrics to it. And this is a case where the music came first. I wasn't really setting out to do anything in particular. I was just playing around on my guitar and happened across, those opening chords, the A, C, and G, and the frenetic picking that comes along with that song. It's got a nice gallop to it. Lyrically, Tears on the Wall, I have no idea what that means, but it conveys something. I mean, you get a mental image of something. By the end of the song, you know what it means without being able to put it into words, I guess. So the music came together fairly quickly. There were a couple of components I was looking for once I had the opening chords. I knew I wanted to have a small bridge where it would just have everybody in unison, striking the same chord, and the drums just kind of hitting a beat. So that's where you get, where we hit the C, I know you lie, girl, I know you lie, girl, whatever. That was something I wanted in there, just kind of a different dynamic to break up the rest of the song. Going into the chorus, I wanted for the chorus for the chords of the chorus to almost mimic exactly what the lyrics were saying, and that's what it does. Sometimes, you can do you can have your instrumentation. I don't know how to explain it exactly. You could hit a chord and just let it ring out and have all your lyrics flow around that. And other times you want to have the lyrics and the chords to the music be in unison, one mimicking the other. And that's what I was going for this time. So it came together pretty quickly. Lyrically, I knew what I wanted to go for. A relationship gone awry. There's deceit. There's been lies. There's been cheating. There's been all this stuff that's been happening. And even though the person who's doing the cheating and the lying may think that they're getting one over on the other person, that other person isn't as naive as they thought. He or she has caught on, okay, and they know what's going on. So that's what the song is about. It was one of the songs that in 2016, when I went into the studio by myself, that was one of the songs I definitely wanted to do a demo of. What's interesting is probably, let me think, 2008. Yeah, 2008, I'd actually gone into my stepbrother's studio and recorded a demo of that song. And there's a drastic difference between the demo I did in 2008, the demo I did in 2016, and how we ended up recording it. Now, it's not drastic in the song structure or anything like that, but vocally you can hear differences. I mean, I was younger, so my voice sounds different. But also, I remember when I went into the studio in 2008, I knew what I wanted the song to sound like. And when my stepbrother Jason heard how the picking structure was, how it gallops the way it does, instead of, I was kind of thinking something along Iron Maiden for the drums. And it was actually his idea. He was like, well, let's try this. And it had more of like a disco beat. It really did. It's just a lot of riding those hi-hats. And when I listened to it back, I was like, this is perfect. Because for me, when I listened to the song back, to me, it's, again, drawn from my influences, it's kind of like, for me, it's Tears Are Falling meets I Was Made for Loving You. If you were to take those two songs and a little bit of Love Gun. So take those three songs, throw them into a blender, let them ride around for a while. Cheers on the Wall is the end result, at least in my mind. And by adding that drum beat that Jason came up with, that was the element that it needed to just kind of take it in a kind of a left turn. So I really liked that. Now fast forward to 2016 when I went in to record it at the studio with Dan in Cadillac. He heard something different, and so I would have preferred to have kept that same drum pattern that Jason and I originally recorded, but Dan had something else in mind, and I was open to taking a different perspective. He heard something more along the lines of what Poison would do, and I kind of get that too. But the drum beat and that 2016 demo is different, and to me it lacks the energy. And so if anything, even though I kept it that way and I didn't hate it, it's just not my favorite. If anything, it just reminded me and reinforced to me just how important that drum pattern that Jason and I had originally recorded, just how important and how vital that was to the song to give it that energy. Otherwise it just sounds like it's lagging, at least to my ears. So fast forward to 2019 or even 2018 when Josh and I first put a band together. That was one of the songs that I brought, and that was one of the few originals that we were doing. Even into 2019 when I met Grant, or we met Grant, and then we put a band together, that was the sound, that drum pattern. And I tell you, Grant and I both joke, that's always, Tears on the Wall is always the second song in the set. Why? Well, because one, you need a song before that just to get warmed up. Just to get warmed up to be able to do Tears on the Wall. And secondly, if it's any place farther than second into the set, both of us are already spent. It is a high energy song. Not so much for the guitars and bass, although that too, but the drumming especially. Grant is back there, playing a mile a minute, and that's what the song calls for. So, and for the vocals, it's one of the songs that's the most vocally challenging. It's got a lot of high parts. It's got a lot of lyric. There's very few breaks. So for me and for Grant especially, Tears on the Wall needs to be track number 2 when we play it live. But yeah, when I brought that to the band, that Grant and I were in before Revelation Rain, it sounded good, and Grant was playing that drum pattern. I don't think it fully matured and became the song that it is today until we put Revelation Rain together. I really think that, once we had those four people in place, once we had JT and Marty in the band, what they brought to the band just added so much to the song. And it's a high energy song. It's one of our favorite songs. I know it's one of JT's favorite songs, because whenever we'd be at rehearsal, we'd be like, all right, somebody call out a song. Let's do one. Just somebody call out a song. JT 9 out of 10 times would yell out, "Tears on the Wall," and we would do it, but it became a joke that he'd call it out 2 or 3 times, and we'd be like, "No, wait, man, we can't do it." Or he'd say, "Well, let's play it even faster," and that's just picking at Grant, because, like I said, he's already playing a mile a minute on this track. But it sounds great. It sounds great. It's one of my most favorite songs, and I probably say that a lot, but this one really and truly is, just because of the history, all the changes it's gone through. Recording that first demo with my stepbrother back in 2008, and then what Revelation Rain ended up doing with it, even on the album, and when we do it live, it's just a high point of the record and a high point in our live set. And because it's, like I said, 9 out of 10 times, that's a song that JT would always call out. So it has, it has that as well. And now that we've got Steve in the band, we gave him the first 5 songs to learn. And like I said, in 2 rehearsals, he's pretty much got these knocked out. I mean, it's fantastic. Tears on the Wall was the very first track that we rehearsed with Steve, and he nailed it. It sounds great. So in that respect, it also has, a special place for me, because it's the first song that we ever played with Steve. So it's pretty cool. As far as the track placement on the album, well, coming off from Can't Forgive What You Can't Forget, What I Can't Forget, Can't Forgive What I Can't Forget, which is side 2, track 1, which kind of correlates a lot with New Kind of Man, heavy hitter, heavy song. Well, the second track on side 1 was our single, Taste of Tomorrow. Well, we were kind of duplicating that with Tears on the Wall. That was our second track. On side 2, it's again just a song that could be used as a single. It's a song that has where it could appeal to everybody. But also, again, going back to what I originally had in mind once the lyrics came together, I mentioned, I Was Made for Loving You, Love Gun, and Tears Are Falling. And I remember thinking about Kiss Asylum, that record. And Tears Are Falling is, one of the singles from that record. And I always found it strange that it was side 2, track 2, but it works. It's different, but it works. And so I had that in mind when we were putting the track listing together for Vengeance Is Mine. When we went into the studio to record it, again, we recorded all the basic tracks live, off the cuff. And then went back and did vocals, lead and backing vocals. I don't think we added anything to that song or changed it from what we were doing live or during rehearsals. Not that I can recall. Oh, except for my original lyric on the bridge, like I said, where we just kind of, we do a 2 or 3 count on that C chord, I Know You Lie, Girl. Originally it was, I Know You Lie, Girl, and then the backing vocal would say, I Know You Lie, Girl. Well, Marty kind of changed that up a little bit for the better, because I would say one line and then he would kind of echo behind me, the second line. So when I say, I Know You Lie, Girl, he changed it to, He Knows You Lie, Girl. So it put the emphasis back on the person that's singing, which is good. It has more continuity that way, I think, because you have a different person singing the second line. So that was a small change. I don't know if that happened in the studio or if that happened even before we recorded it. It must have been before we recorded it that Marty had made that change. And, of course, it carried over to the record. And just a small change like that makes a huge difference. I think it makes it a better song. just one little, 2 or 3 different words in that line. I tell you, I'm watching as I'm recording this show behind us, and Grant and I both agree that this is one of the best shows we've ever done. I think Marty probably feels the same way. This was, like I said, at South of the Straits. This was a great show. And again, it's just a live stream. There's no audience there. But the guys at South of the Strait did an excellent job with editing and putting it together, and it was live. It was a live stream. So they were, all these cuts and changes and stuff that you're seeing, they're doing that on the fly. And they did a fantastic job. The sound was great that night. We did have a couple of technical mishaps. The electrical outlet where JT's guitar amp was plugged in blew out. So I think it's right toward the middle of We Are the Night, which is the second song that we played that night. His guitar just completely cuts out, and we're live, so we keep playing, but JT's still doing the backing vocals, but at the same time trying to figure out why his amp won't turn on. And so in between We Are the Night and Splitting Hairs, Splitting Atoms, there's a pretty long gap where we're just trying to figure out why isn't there no power going to his amplifier. Eventually we get it fixed and we move forward, but those are the things that happen when you play live. And then I think there was one other mishap when we went in to do Forgiveness. I wanted to do that on an acoustic guitar, and plugging an acoustic guitar into the amp, I didn't do it. I wasn't well prepared. I'll just say that. We got a whole bunch of feedback. It was scrambling to get my guitar amp set right, to have this acoustic guitar running through it, so there was a slight delay there. But on the whole, it's a great show, one of our favorites. But anyway, Tears on the Wall, great song. I don't think it's ever not been in our set list, because even if we do an abbreviated set list, 5 songs, like when we opened for Ripper Owens, for example, we had 30 minutes. Tears on the Wall always makes the cut because we all love it. It's frenetic, it's high energy, it's fast paced, it's lyrically, it's a great song, musically, it's a great song. Tears on the Wall is, if not always, at least 99% of the time, it's always in the set list. So anyway, that's Tears on the Wall. Just wanted to get, continue this video series. I know it's been a couple of weeks. In the last video, I mentioned that I'm working on another project to put up here that will be coming soon. It's just a lot of work, but stay tuned. That project will go up before too long. I'll continue doing these videos, but we also just wanted to give everybody an update on where the band is at, and yeah, that's a great shot right there. Where the band is, what we're doing, and the fact that we do have a new lead guitarist, and we're looking to get out there to do some interviews, get on South of the Straits to do their show, and then continue to rehearse and get more songs down. But we're to the point where we could do an abbreviated set list. We want to play live soon, and we could do that if we were an opening act. We don't mind doing that. Do a half-hour set. We're ready. So if there's any bands out there, need an opening band, Revelation Rain is ready. We're set to go. Give us a call. All right, guys. Take care, and God bless.